We have narrowed it down to just the three of you. Why should the judges select you to be Miss USA 1990?
Well, each and every one of us are different and unique in our own ways. And I do believe I have something positive to share with the young people of America, especially young women, that any goals you have and desires only in America can you achieve them if you believe within yourself and put God in front of you. And that if you keep believing and keep striving, you can be whatever you want to be.
Thank you very much. Would you join the other contestants, please?
If you knew you could be smart or beautiful, but not both, which one would you choose and why?
I would choose to be smart because beauty is something that comes from within. And if you're smart enough to know that if you have self-confidence, then you're already beautiful.
Thank you very much. Miss Kansas, if you'd come forward and select a question, please. All right. This comes from judge number 9, Mitzi Capture. Mitzi, may we have your question, please?
If you were a victim of sexual harassment on the job, would you quit, keep quiet, or fight it?
Well, I would definitely fight it. I think that victims need to stand up for their rights. And with as much publicity as sexual harassment is getting now, I think it's important for ladies in the workplace to take a stand and to show that we believe in ourselves and that we know who we are and that we don't have to take sexual harassment and that we won't. And I would stand up and be an example for other women.
Thank you very much. If you'd wait for a moment for the judges. If you would, go ahead, select a number. All right, and she goes with number 9, May Shanley Fitzgerald.
Yes, Miss Louisiana, if you were a single parent with dependent children and found yourself unemployed without funds, would you apply for welfare?
Well, if it meant caring for my children, I would, because I think that we can't let our children grow without any care. But I know what it's like. My mom was a single parent, and if you care enough about your children, you'll go out and find work and provide for those children and show them that you're willing to work hard for anything you need.
Okay, Miss Louisiana. Shannon, go ahead and select a name out of there. You have gone with judge number 4. That is Peter Barton. Peter, your question, please.
Okay, Shannon. Some politicians have suggested putting welfare children into orphanages. How do you feel about that?
I think we definitely need some reform. I think over the past few years, we have seen a lot of fraud uncovered in the welfare system. I don't know if we need to go the extreme of orphanages, but we've got to find ways to get young mothers and other people that are dependent on welfare job training and other avenues that will allow them to make a way for themselves.
Okay, Miss Florida. Okay, Juliet, select the judge's name. Oh, you're mixing them up and everything. You're so thorough. Judge number 9, Irene Bedard. Irene?
Imagine you're Miss USA and you're on a talk show panel. One of the guests attacks pageants as sexist. What would you say?
Well, I'd have to say, first of all, they haven't been in a pageant to know exactly what sexist is. I would have to say that pageants are far from being sexist. There are 51 beautiful women here that stand up for their rights and their individuality, and it's far from that. And they put their life on the line every day to walk across this stage and say, look at me, I'm confident, I'm here, and I want to support pageants. And they're very proud of themselves, just like I am.
All right, pick your judge and your question.
This is for judge number 3, Nick Lowry.
If you had a terminally ill relative who asked you to help him or her die, what would you do?
I think that would be one of the most difficult things to go through, and I feel if I was close enough to this person and loved them, I would respect their wishes. Fortunately, I haven't been in that situation, but I can understand the pain that people go through when they have a disease such as cancer or AIDS, so I would try and respect what they wanted. It's their choice, and I would try and let them know I love them and hopefully change their mind.
Next we have Miss California, Shauna Gamble. I want to ask you the same question I asked Miss Missouri. Your question is, the millennium is coming. A time capsule is being prepared, not to be open for 1,000 years. What 3 things would you put into the capsule to best remind people of what this generation is, and why?
I would first put in a laptop computer because I think it's important. We've really made strides in our technology, and our computer really exemplifies that. I would also put in literature about women and the accomplishments we've made, and so we can check to see how we've progressed. And then also, one of my personal favorites, I'd put some of my favorite music in there so that our children can compare our decade to the new millennium.
Thank you very much, Miss California.
California. Here we go. Your question. President and Mrs. Clinton. President and Mrs. Clinton are very upset about the People magazine cover story on their daughter Chelsea, who's soon to be 19 and is no longer a minor. Do you think Chelsea is off limits to the media?
I think she should be off limits somewhat because it hasn't been her choice to be in the position that she is. So I think that the media should respect that and honor that. But since she is older than a minor, then they can do a little bit. But I think they should definitely respect her privacy because it's not her choice to be in the position where she is now.